Is mountaintop mining ethical? By Andrew Cherry. There are many regions of the United States that are overlooked as a thing of the past or not very important. Parts of Appalachia have been disregarded and not followed by most of our nation, which allowed major corporations to step in and use the land for their short-term benefit and ruin areas that have been peaceful for thousands of years. In Appalachia, corporations have been using a technique to get coal called mountaintop mining. They rip up the top levels of mountains in order to find coal, which they can sell for a lot of profit. The profit off of the coal comes at the cost of the environment. The environment takes a huge impact because of the change of landscape, sediment ponds, and the following seen in this short clip.
The problem is that for every about a meter of coal, you have about 99 meters of rock that you have to put somewhere during this process. And when you're in a landscape like Appalachia, the place that most of that rock ends up being put is in river valleys.
When the rock is pulverized in the mining process, toxic chemicals and minerals locked inside for millennia are released and exposed to the air, creating two areas of concern.
One, that the water coming out of these mines is salty. It's full of rock-derived salts, and that by itself is stressful to many freshwater organisms. And the sort of subsidiary problem is that that salt contains lots of elevated levels of trace metals, which have known toxicity to organisms.
Besides these factors, both animals and humans lose their homes because of the land being dug up. While the government, corporations, and some workers profit off of these activities, many humans are forced to move out of their homes and animals often die because of the mining. While there is money in the industry, there are also several negatives. This leads us to the question, does the money from mountaintop mining outweigh the environmental and sentimental loss? There are three general different perspectives that people have about mountaintop mining. The three perspectives are people who are all for mountaintop mining, people who are against mountaintop mining, and people who are fine with some mountaintop mining. The people who are against mountaintop mining probably are because they don't like the environmental effects, they don't want people to be removed from their homes by force, and are possibly against major corporations. The people who are all for mountaintop mining probably are because of the money that there is to make, possibly being involved with a major corporation, or possible bribery or investments. The final perspective is some mountaintop mining should be permissible, but not too much. This would be because there is money to make, people need jobs, and they don't care too much for the environment. The key players and stakeholders involved with mountaintop mining are the major financial providers and the local governments. The major financial providers are companies such as PNC Bank, UBS, and Citibank. They loan the companies that organize and mine the coal substantial funds in order for them to be able to mine. In fact, in the end, they make profit off of the interest, and the mining companies make money from the excess profit. The governments also have a major role in mountaintop mining. In states such as West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio, the governments allow the mine to partake and force residents out of their home in order to make the mining happen. One secular ethical system that can be applied to mountaintop mining is utilitarianism. Many people and animals are displaced by mountaintop mining. The few people that gain jobs from this and the major corporations that profit off the mine benefit. However, many organisms take a loss. Not just humans suffer, but animals do, also because of the mountaintop mining. Utilitarianism is the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people, and in this case, the greatest number of people are not happy. More people are displaced and upset than the amount of people who profit off of this. Also, the animals displaced suffer for the mining as well. In order to find the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people, some form of a middle ground should be established for mountaintop mining. This middle ground would consist of having a compromise between the people of Appalachia, the government, and the corporations. In addition to utilitarianism, another way of analyzing mountaintop mining is through Catholic social teaching. Rights and responsibilities correlates well with mountaintop mining. It is the right of the people of the Appalachian region to disagree and protest mountaintop mining, if they disagree with it. Also, they have the responsibility to make sure their rights are fulfilled. The people who live in Appalachia need to stand up for their beliefs and protest the government. The government wants to profit at the cost of losing natural landscapes and ruining the environment that has been left relatively untouched for millions of years. Here's the opinion of a former West Virginia coal miner.
But people who live near a surface mine like former miner Clay Mullins, say the landscape is forever altered.
It all comes back to that almighty dollar and stuff, That's what they care about. And that's what they're in business for, is to make money. Everybody understands that and stuff. But you got to draw a line between what's good for the health of your workers and what's good for the health of the earth.
Wherever that line in the sand was before, the Trump administration is clearly determined to move mountains for the coal industry, even as it does the same in central Appalachia.
After doing my research, my personal opinion on mountaintop mining is that there should be a middle ground. Some areas may be used for mountaintop mining, but it should be in one concentrated area that is not seen by the public much. While it would be best for mountaintop mining to be fully banned, it is not possible because the states need a way to make money and to provide jobs. I don't think that many people should lose homes in order for people to mine the land. If not many people were forced to relocate and a lot of people made tons of money off of a mine, then it would be worth it to mine the area. This is similar to utilitarianism in the sense of more people gaining happiness than losing it. The issue of mountaintop mining can be solved by the government, the corporations, and the people finding a middle ground. There could possibly be some areas that not many humans live near and that the coal is rarely rich. This would be the ideal location for mountaintop mining to take place. If mountaintop mining was banned, then there would be a lot of people out of jobs and the economy of the states in the Appalachian region would suffer. However, there can be profits in some locations without as much destruction. Through compromising, almost everyone can be happier than they are with the current situation. To conclude, I believe that if mountaintop mining were to take place in a lowly populated area and cause as little harm to the environment as possible, I think it would be the best possible solution because eliminating mountaintop mining completely isn't plausible. With less harm to the environment being done, less people being displaced, and the mining companies still making money, people in general will be happier.